Welcome to God Squad Radio. Today is December 15th and it is 1:10 p.m. I am your host today. My name is Jeremiah. And today's topic is prophetic dreams. Prophetic dreams and the words from the Lord. So with that said, I'm gonna get right into it. Basically, long story short, I've been born again, saved for the last 6 to 7ish years, somewhere around there, and this is relevant because it applies to everybody to hear pretty much, and the Lord told me to be ready to share, so I'm gonna share. Story time. So, throughout the last 6, 7 years, I've had many prophetic dreams. And to start off, one of the first things that the Lord said to me was, He said, pay attention to your dreams, and then He also said that your dreams are what's happening and what's to come. Now, to see whether I'm telling the truth or not, we're gonna find out. So, with that being said, let's start off with the name Jeremiah. It's a Jewish name. It's actually I think it's Jeremiah, something like that. It's spelled with a Y, but since I live in America, I'm actually with a J. So, but the book of Jeremiah. Now, the book of Jeremiah definitely has been it's been very deep for me because after I got saved, the night I got saved by the Lord, I opened my Bible up and I landed right on Jeremiah randomly. Like, that's the first thing I opened, and I landed to a scripture that says this. I opened to this. Oh, and by the way, Jeremiah actually means prophet. It means major prophet. So with that said, I got to when I opened it. This is where I came to. It's actually Jeremiah 1 verse 4 through 10, I believe. Yeah. Chapter 1, verse 4 through 10. This is the first thing my eyes landed on when I opened it. And I happened to land in the book of Jeremiah. So it says, "The word of the Lord came to me, saying, Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Alas, sovereign Lord, I said, I do not know how to speak. I am too young. But the Lord said to me, Do not say I am too young. You must go to everyone I send you to and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. See, today I appoint you over nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to plant and to build." That's what I opened to. That was the first thing he showed me after I was saved. And I'm gonna go with this. So the Lord said to me in a dream, not long after I was saved, one of the first things that the Lord said to me pretty much about this calling that I have and about prophecy is I had a dream and I heard the Lord's voice. I didn't see anything. I couldn't see anything in this dream. I just heard his voice, and it was very clear. He said, "Pay attention to your dreams." And then he also said, not long after that, he said, "Your dreams are what's happening and what's to come. What's happening and what's to come." And you know, for the last 5, 6, 7 years, I've been actually watching them come to pass and happen just as the Lord said they would. And Lord also said, "Be ready to share." So I'm gonna share with you what I have and what he showed me. So with that said, we're gonna go with just so we have an understanding of the word of the Lord concerning prophecy, so people can understand what prophecy is and get a little bit more in-depth wisdom about what the Lord says about these things. We're gonna jump into some scriptures about them. So let's start with this one. He says, this is Deuteronomy chapter 18, verses 21 through 22. It says, "And if you say in your heart, how may we know that the Lord has not spoken? How may we know the word that the Lord has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the word does not come to pass or come true, that is a word that the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You need not be afraid of him." So, when a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the word does not come to pass or come true, that is a word that the Lord has not spoken. And then let's go to Numbers. The book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 6 says, "And he said, Hear my words. If there is a prophet among you, and the Lord make myself known to him in a vision, I speak with him in a dream." I speak with him in a dream, just like he did. And let's go next to Deuteronomy 18, chapter 18, verse 20. Now, keep in mind, with this one, this is Old Testament, before Christ even came. And it said, But the prophet who presumes to speak a word in my name that I have not commanded him to speak, or who speaks in the name of other gods, that same prophet shall die." That was the Old Testament, man. And next, let's go to 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 21, which says, "For no prophecy was ever produced by the will of man, but men spoke from God as they were carried along by the Holy Spirit." Now let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7, which says, "For the Lord God does nothing without revealing his secret to his servants, the prophets." Next, we're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13, 1 through 5. It says, "If a prophet or a dreamer of dreams arises among you and gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or wonder that he tells you comes to pass, and if he says, 'Let us go after other gods which you have not known, and let us serve them. You shall not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. Um, Now, obviously, I'm not gonna tell you to go after other gods. I'm gonna tell you Jesus Christ. That's God. Um, let's go with Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 9 says, "As for the prophet who prophesies peace, when the word of that prophet comes to pass, then it will be known that the Lord has truly sent the prophet." Now let's go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 20. It says, "Do not despise prophecies." First Corinthians, in other words, well, do not despise prophecies. In other words, hear it out before you just make the decision to be like, oh yeah, whatever, da, 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 and try to shrug it off like without even given the chance to hear it first. Um, Next, let's go to First Corinthians chapter 14, verse 3 says, "On the other hand, the one who prophesies speaks to people for their upbuilding and encouragement and consolation." Then it says, um, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 29, "Let two or three prophets speak, and let the others weigh what is said." Obviously, I'm the only one in the room, but let others weigh what is said. Um, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33 says, "For God is not a God of confusion, but of peace, peace as in all the churches of the saints." That's, that, ver, that version's a little different than I was expecting it to be, but 1 Corinthians 14. That was the ESV version, by the way. 14. Okay, 1 Corinthians 14. First Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. This is this NIV version. This says "The spirit of prophets are subject to the control of prophets. For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace, as in all the congregations of the Lord's people." Then we also have Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 18. "I will raise up for them a prophet like you for among their brothers, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I command him." Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 15 says, "The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from your brothers. It is to him you shall listen." First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 20 and 21. It says, 20 through 21. "Do not despise prophecies, but test everything. Hold fast what is good." Thanks for bearing with me, by the way. Sorry for the minor pauses. Not sure if I said this one yet, but Jeremiah 28 verse 9. As for the prophet who prophesies peace, when the word of that prophet comes to pass, then it will be known that the Lord has truly sent that prophet. Dun, 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 dun. Think that's getting through pretty much most of them. Oh, Deuteronomy 18:21 through 22. And if you say in your heart, how may we know that the word that the Lord has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the word does not come to pass or come true, that is a word that the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You need not be afraid of him. I'm gonna have to do some editing on this video. Speak. All right, cool. So with that said, let's get into it. I've been watching my dreams come true, just as the Lord said they would. And what's crazy is there's other people that'll actually vouch for that too, because I've told people about them beforehand, and then actually watched them come to pass later on. And so yeah, this isn't my first time sharing any of these dreams, but well, it is on here. But I've shared some of these dreams and told people about these. Some people, and several different people too, not just one person, and different dreams with different people I've told, and they've actually seen some of it come to pass as well. So today I'm gonna get into with these dreams. Oh, by the way, as well. So some of these dreams also have symbolic meaning to them, and I'll describe some of those. What I mean by that. So for example, I have one dream. Here's a good example. I have one dream. I was in a trailer court, and I was hanging out with Donald Trump. I know, right? I was by Donald Trump, and he was. If anybody knows anything about putting drywall up, that's pretty much what he was doing. He had drywall, and he was putting money. He was putting money on it, on the drywall, and later on down the road, out of the dream, later on down the road, Trump started to talk about building the wall and putting money into building the wall. Well, so what he was showing me with this symbolic dream was that that whole thing with the wall, and the whole thing with all the money to build the wall, and he's putting. So I seen the visual of him putting money on a wall, and so yeah, there's that one. here's another one. Um, in this other one, I, if anybody knows anything about football, there's a quarterback. His name is his name is Philip Rivers, and I seen him, and I instantly knew that's who it was. And then it was short. It was short, but when I woke up, the Lord gave me the understanding that it wasn't just this guy. It was because his name is spelled Phillip, or UP maybe, but the understanding that I had when I woke up was it wasn't just his name like that. It was actually Phil, Fill, up, UP Rivers. The rivers, in other words, that was a symbolic dream for what he's trying to show me is the rivers are gonna start to increase and flood. Um, now now throughout the last few years, we've actually seen that in several different cases. I mean, what was it? Was it Wisconsin or something that had some dams break and yeah, it flooded and some of the rivers started to fill up and increase. Um, but yeah, these and it's gonna continue to. It's gonna continue. There will be more floods and stuff like that. Um, so those are symbolic dreams. Was trying to show me something, or he'll give me the understanding of what it meant, like the Philip Rivers one. Um, so those are the symbolic ones. Now, some of the other ones would be let's go with. Gee, there's so much to choose from, but the ones that come to pass that are what's happening and what's to come. Since he told me that, some of those that I have seen come true is ones like the whole digital this digital currency and everything like that, and they're starting to get digital currencies now. Um, yeah, I in one dream I remember uh, seeing like a I don't even know how to describe what it was. It was like it was like a box type deal, um, little small box type looking type deal, and it was on my hand, and I was looking at it, and I said something about, oh yeah, China's got a China's got a digital one or something like that, and now China actually does have digital currencies. Um, but another one would be like and keep in mind this, I'm not going with the symbolic on these ones. I'm just gonna say some of the other ones. Oh, as far as diseases go. So as far as diseases go, about a month before the whole coronavirus thing started happening, um, at this point, I didn't really know what he meant, what the Lord meant, but he just told me. He said prophesy death, and I was like, man, I don't want to tell people that death is coming. Like that's nobody wants to hear that, dude. Um, because it sounds gloomy, but. And I told one of my buddies about that, and he's like, "Whoa, stay over there." He's like, "You can stay over there with that." And I didn't really want to say anything to a whole lot of people because I mean, like I said, pe- tell people that there's gonna be lot of death coming, and people are gonna be like, "You're being negative," and yeah, dude. And I just didn't want to say it, especially because he didn't tell me how all this death was gonna come. He just said prophesy death. Well, about a week before, about a So that was about a month before the coronavirus thing happened. And then about a week before it started kicking off, I was with one of my coworkers, and I was telling him about the dreams, and I told him this one dream. I was in an airport, and people had the masks on. I didn't know what a lot of this stuff meant, like the masks or whatever. Like I was wondering why people were wearing masks, and I I could see this I could see this weird. It would look like flesh. Like if anybody knows how like a heart looks, how it's like veiny and it's that tissue. That's what I seen. I seen this like this tissue that was like that, and it was like veiny and and just meaty, like meat, fleshy, whatever you want to say it. But I seen that, and these people were going through the airport, and they had these masks on or whatever, and then I had this other dream. It like switched into this other one, and I told my coworker about this. It was crazy too because, like I said, about a week later after that, he was like, "Oh crap, dude!" He was like, "You weren't even joking." But yeah, the dream like switched into like another dream, and I was in like a store like Albertsons or whatever, and I was buying hand sanitizer and toilet paper, and sure as heck, man. Once the coronavirus hit, I started seeing what it meant. Like I don't get the understanding of all these dreams before they happen. Sometimes I'm just like, what is he showing me? And then once it starts happening, then I'm like, okay, it's happening because of this. God was just giving me some heads up of what was gonna come of it. And then I've had dreams of being in a grocery store, and everybody's like stocking up, man, like loading up, like I could tell that it was getting close to pretty much like having a situation to where people are gonna flood the stores and just start grabbing as much as they can. Um, now that some years have passed, I regret not saying a lot of this sooner. But I mean, what would you think if what would you think that other people would think if you were in my position? People are gonna think either A, you're full of crap, B, you're crazy, or C, you have some other ulterior motive for doing it. Um, and so I didn't want to say these things because of that. And some of these things don't sound very positive, man. But at the same time, after years of starting to see them come to pass, it's like, man, I may as well start saying it. Um, but so some of these things are difficult for me to talk about. Diseases. In this one dream, it was like there was I don't know. I was walking through like some some area out in the country like through a field, but there was water like maybe halfway up my calf, about that high, halfway up my calf, and I seen these. Dude, they were huge, man. They were huge. Um, th- parasites, parasites. I mean, big ones, dude. Not, like you can't really see a parasite for the most part, dude. But these things were large parasites. I mean, I don't know exactly the in depthness of what that meant. Is if because they were large, there's going to be a large amount of parasites that were going to happen or what, but it was in the water. And so I think that one's to come. Um I don't think that one's really happened yet, at least not where I live, 'cause it ain't flooded like that yet. But there's that. Um and another one, people's um hairs, dude, like people's skin was getting like dried out, and they were like losing their hair pretty much. You could tell they just looked really malnourished, like. But I knew that it was from drinking the water. Um, from drinking the water, whatever was else was in the water was pretty much doing that to them. Um, and I think that's to come. Uh, I think that's still to come in the future. What else? Um, he man, some of these are just depressing. But there's some of these dreams are just so vivid too, man. Um, and some of these I still don't even understand, like the symbolic ones, what some of them mean. Um, all right, I'm just gonna say it anyway. Screw it. Um, I don't know the exact date on some of these, but like say for instance, like this next one was probably between like a year and a half ago, somewhere around there. But maybe a year, about a year I'd say. He I heard I heard his voice. Some dreams I don't see anything, and he's just speaking one one thing, and like for instance, um, but I hear his voice like like uh, what's the word I'm thinking of? Oh, I can't think of the word. I hear his voice though, and it's just I understand what he's saying. Like I can't wake up and be like, oh man, I didn't understand that, because it's like he's trying, like in those kinds of dreams, he's actually just making a statement, and like I hear it, I just hear it. Um, but so for example, with those types of dreams, and I don't get those ones a lot. Those are those are actually like less less frequent than a lot of the other dreams, the other kind of dreams. But there's ones like that to where he says things like this that one that was like a yearish ago. He said 10 nations rising. Well, if you go to the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation, it pretty much talks about these nations that'll rise, and those 10 nations that rise, It's pretty much New World Order type of. I mean, I hope I don't have to explain New World Order to everybody, but he said 10 nations rising, and now we can start to see throughout this last year, you can start to see the alliances that countries are starting to form with each other. Um, he's also gave me other ones like that where I just hear what he says. Like time is running out. Um, I've actually had that one a couple times. He's like time is running out. I've had that one a couple times. Um, I wish I had all of my whole list to be a little easier. But it's difficult, man. So try to stick with dreams about America. I've had dreams of like I was in a desert somewhere, and I was running, and there was a couple people with me, and all these missiles, dude, were like just hitting, like not nuclear massive size, but like smaller missiles, and they were just hitting all over the place, and I was trying to like not get hit by them, but I remember the ground started to like shake, like aftershock from it, like earthquake style, um, from the pressure on it. Um, Another one about America. I seen, I remember seeing like if you look on a map and you look at Florida. I was looking at, I was seeing Florida, and there was all this water. Like I only seen that state itself. Like I didn't see the rest of the country, just that state of Florida, and there was all this water just all the way around it. And I think what he was showing me with those ones is all those hurricanes that and floods that started happening um, throughout, because they've been getting nailed by hurricanes for the last few years. And there's just been so much flooding. So I'm pretty sure that that's what he was trying to show me with that one, was that there's going to be a bunch of water in Florida. It's kind of sad too, because there's a lot of people that lost their homes, and whole cities that have just been wrecked. Um, More dreams. Stick to America. What are the American dreams? I've seen ones like there was all these China businesses started opening up in America, and they started opening like their companies over here. I think that I'm not sure how long it's going to be before that, but I know this much. With the whole presidential thing going on with Biden and Trump. If Biden becomes president, I definitely think he's gonna try to work things out with China to where they can bring their businesses over here. Some other dreams, China invades us. Like I see him moving all their military equipment here. Like they're moving all this military equipment here, and so I'm pretty sure they give us an invasion. A lot of dreams about China. A lot of dreams about China. Um, I had another dream about America where China. I was in this I was in this jail, but it was it wasn't like a normal jail we have here. It was more like third world country style because they had a. It was like dirt ground, and I could see out out these little bars. Like it just looked crappy, man. It looked like a jail you'd see in Mexico or something. You know what I mean? Like dirt ground, outdoors, like to where you could see through the bars, and and I was in there with a few people, and I remember looking across the street through those bars, and I was looking at this little, like I knew it was their little headquarters, one of their little headquarters buildings or whatever that they'd set up here. But I said, I remember being like, oh yeah, that's the Lee family, like Lee, like Lee, Bruce Lee-ish type, that kind of Lee. Um, now I didn't see these people. I just knew that they, in those headquarters, that this Lee family, whoever this is, that they had some kind of headquarters set up here. Um, I've also had other dreams about like America to where there was all these different all these different like foreign countries, and they were like we got invaded by like pretty much a lot of different a lot of different countries, and they were coming into these buildings. These foreign people they were coming into these buildings, and they were taking like everybody's jewelry, like all everybody's precious metals, pretty much, because that's what it is. But like it was, I mean, earrings, watches, and people, dude, people were scared. Like they were scared, and yeah, they were taking. I mean, I'm talking like, dude, they were taking like forks, spoons, all these metals, just all these different metals, and yeah, makes me sad thinking about some of these dreams, man. Um, I have one. This dream actually, I woke up in tears. I woke up bawling, like I couldn't even help but to cry. But it was so vivid, man, so vivid. But this was definitely in the future. How far? I don't know, but it was crazy because dude, there wasn't even like any technology left. Like I knew that Russia already bombed the shit out of America, and like I had the understanding of it because like I was seeing it in that time, like way after way after this little war hit. But I knew that they had pretty much already bombed America, and that there was like no technology left. I mean, if you ever seen like a movie to where like you see people in those villages, and they're like 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 nurses or whatever, are trying to, like doctors or whatever, they're trying to do the best they can with these little tents to to help people that are sick and stuff like that. Like it was like that. Like it was like that, man. There wasn't much left, and I knew that people were dying from like a ton of people died from drinking the water. Um, the water was no good, and there was like they didn't have the the little hospital tent type deals, because that's what it looked like just little tents. Like they didn't have any equipment in it. Like lucky to have like bandages, and like there was just like, man, it looked so rough, and I knew that, and I also had this understanding that because we without all the health stuff that without all the health stuff that you can get, um this part made me sad, dude, because like oh, most, like even the people that were left after Russia bombed us, dude, like there wasn't many kids left because the disease, like their body couldn't handle their body just couldn't fight off the disease, and so there wasn't many children left, and people just looked really skinny, like hungry, 'cause famine. Um, People looked really skinny and really hungry, and I remember I remember this dream was crazy, dude. It was like it gets so bad. Like I had the understanding that America falls so far away from God that God finally just kind of takes his protection in his hand off of America, and he he gave America what they wanted. They didn't want God anymore, and so he took his blessing and his protection off of us and off of this country. And I was going to like a prison or something at that point, and take, but it's not even like a legitimate prison. It was like somebody's house, and the people in there were trying to work out, like they were working out to try to stay in shape, and stay healthy. And I had to. Okay, so I have this rap group that I listen to, right? And it's God Over Money. And this lady that was running the prison, it was just her. um, she was wearing a shirt that said that, and but I knew that she wasn't wearing it because she liked the shirt, but there just wasn't much for clothes, so you use what you can. And what did I say? I said I said something about it. I was like, all that. I was like, I used to listen to a rap group or whatever. That's my favorite rap group. And and she's like, she kicked me out of prison, dude. Pretty much. She was like, oh, if you're about that God thing, then you ain't gonna make it in here. Almost like it was a blessing to be in there or something. Um, and she pretty much kicked me out of prison because because I was down for God, and kicked me out of prison. Who gets kicked out of prison? Like I said, it was like a house style though. Like wasn't no cell doors, and you know what I mean. It was like a big house, and but it was almost like a blessing to be able to be there, because there was, like I said, there wasn't a whole lot left, man. So what few houses there were, trailers, um they're just busted down and crap. um so I remember looking up in the sky, and I was just waiting, like, I was wondering and waiting, like, how much longer is it gonna be um for Christ to come back? Like I was waiting for him, and this this is the part where I got, the kid part was made me sad. Like I had this deep deep hurt because of the kids not being able to pretty much fight off these diseases. Um, that part, and then this part. He showed me a picture. Like this was towards the end of the dream, and I seen a picture of the American flag waving, and like I knew it was blessing. Like I was looking at the blessing from what God once blessed America, and I remember just how actually like lucky we really are. Not even lucky, but just how blessed we really are. Like how good we have it sometimes. And so it was like flashback of from how blessed America was to when times were still good to like a further. It was like I was seeing the former blessing, and then I seen the aftermath of once God did take his, because America just fell away so far from God that he took his blessing and his protection off the country. Like I seen the before when we were blessed, and then the aftermath of what was left, and it was, dude, there's just hardly any food. I mean, the waters killed a ton of people. There was just so much, and yeah, I woke up. I woke up just bawling. I woke up crying, dude, and I couldn't even help it. And my roommate, I woke my roommate up, um, and he's like, man, you all right? And I was just in like shock, man. Like, I told him about my dream, man, and I spent, dude, I cried for like an hour, dude, like an hour straight. I couldn't even help it. I couldn't even help it. Like I was just shaking and trembling, like because of the heaviness of that I felt, man. Like America falls so far away, and we're falling more and more away from God. Like it's getting worse and worse here in America. If you can't tell, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that America's getting worse and worse. And but yeah, that one, it was so vivid, so vivid. Um, so some other dreams are I was looking at the news. A bunch of people a bunch of people I work with were in this room, and we're all watching the news, and everybody was just like, there's tons of people in there though. I mean, like the whole room was crowded, even with people that I don't even think worked there. But everybody was standing in this room, and everybody was just in awe, like they couldn't even speak. They couldn't even speak because it was just like, oh crap, like we're pretty much screwed. And but what was going on the TV was I was watching all of China's stocks go up and all of America's go down. Like all of China's went up, all of America's went down. And I was the first one to say something. I was like, it's just like the Bible said it would be. And everybody pretty much like looked at me, and one person was like, what did it say? And I was like, I said something about the mark of the beast or something. Um, I said something about mark of the beast or whatever. And then I woke up like right after that. But yeah, that was, well, and so later on, like I said, some of these dreams still haven't happened yet. They're still to come in the future. But if you look at things like if you take a look at things like, for a fact, I mean, that we're in a trade war, with China, and we got all these tariffs going on and everything, and the fact that the American dollar is the main world currency. You know, it's the main one. That pretty much, dude. When the U.S. dollar goes and and it busts, and then they have to come with the new world currency. Pretty much, our money's not gonna be worth nothing. Um, and you know what's crazy too is since that dream was a while back that I had a while back that I had that like year and a half, 2 years ago, probably. And what's crazy though is within since then, since I had that dream, man, if anybody pays attention to stock market, it gets it's been crazy the last couple years, man. It's dropped, it's raised, I mean, it's like in large no, like in large amounts too. Like, it's crazy. Um, that's another thing, man, with this whole COVID lockdown and all these businesses that are closing down at a certain time and everything like that. That it's like, man, we still gotta be able to work. Like people still have to be able to work and do it to be able to, to be able to take care of their families, to take care of themselves, to eat. I mean, if ever since that, ever since this whole COVID thing, man, it's like if you consider every single business that has closed down or had to shut down even earlier to where they're not bringing in as much money, yeah, it's gonna affect our U.S. dollar. Why? Because, well, we still owe. We're still in debt. We still have to pay interest, and you know what I mean. And if we're not doing that, if you took every business that closed down and lowered their times of when they shut down and think of all the business they lost because of it, it's like, man, that's a it's affecting our U.S. dollar, man. We can't just shut everything down. You have to keep the country going. So I mean, there's still a supply and demand. You still got to eat, right? Still got to have somebody to supply it. So you know what I mean? Then I had this one dream, or this girl I know, um, she said "Are you really who you say you are?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And there was a bunch of cars that were like in that same dream. They were like all their uh like alarms were going off. All their car alarms were like going off, and I think what it was like I don't know, some kind of EMP type deal or something, to where it like affected them because nobody was driving. Nobody was driving them, but yeah, I think it was like something along those lines. Some of the I'm gonna go with I'm gonna talk about some of the ones now that have happened though. Um, so I was still locked up when I had this one. Um, This was like 7 years ago, and it was it was like somebody I knew had this pen. It was a pen, but it had a little audio and video little recorder in it, like a spy pen or some shit like that, crap like that. Forgive my language. And and then when I got out of then when I got out of jail months later, like I seen some commercial on TV and it was showing something like that, like a pen with audio video on it. And yeah, so they make those. Um, Other ones that have already happened. You can open. What up?
So,
A lot.
still recording.
Yeah.
You want long video, huh?
I know.
Or is this a couple of videos you've been recording?
No, I've just been going this
Cool, cool.
same. This one. Huh?
I'll be out here.
Some of the other ones that have already happened, though. I had a dream. This dream. Oh, I was walking down the street, and people people could pretty much walk past you, and just with their phone, just by walking past, like walking next to you, like they could just steal all the information off your phone just by being close enough to you. And yeah, man, that's already happened. Like that's already happening, dude. Like people, the cybersecurity status is ridiculous. Like people can be close enough to you and get your money, dude, off of your cards and stuff like that, dude. Um, like stuff like that, man. Um, gosh, huge, huge list. Um, well, I guess one, the whole, obviously the disease, the coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, COVID. Take your pick. Um, the death the one about the prophesied death that happened. The one where I was in the store with the hand sanitizer and the toilet paper, like that's happened. Um, it's interesting too, because it's interesting, man. There's there's all kinds of things right now that are actually just happening every each day. And God also said, he said, leave some things for me to reveal. For him, not me. He said, leave some things for him to just reveal. I don't think about really that too much, because if he's gonna do it, then he'll do it. Um, I had this, you know, and it's coming too. This is coming too, dude. Like, we're eventually, people are gonna. This one's coming. Um, dude, there was like whole families of people, like a bunch of people uh from like the community and stuff, and we were all in our regular clothes. Like, I don't know why we were. I still don't know the meaning of why we were all in there, but we were all in like these like like it was jail in the open cell block and stuff. But there was families in, like, we were eating, you know what I mean, and it wasn't just jail crap food, and like they were actually just walking around in there, like with their own clothes on and stuff. And so if I don't really know the whole in-depth details to that one yet. But let's see. I need a break. Um, in this dream, I wasn't. Well, I ended up in a like this FEMA. If anybody doesn't know what a FEMA camp is, it's, in other words, it's like a concentration camp. Same shit hit stuff Hitler did. It's a concentration camp. Um, and yes, they do have them in America. There's over 800 of them, but it doesn't mean that they're all in use. All in use, though. I mean, but so with this dream, before I was in this FEMA camp or whatever, I remember I remember hearing the president's voice, and it was like he was like, you can't, what was it, you're no more no more First Amendment. He was like, we can't talk about you can't talk about God anymore. Like, and I knew that our freedom of speech was just taken away. So your First Amendment, um, and I was like locked up because, yeah, obviously I'm still gonna talk about God, whether they take, oh man, just because they take your freedom of speech away, if they, not if, but when this happens, um, doesn't mean that I'm gonna not speak not speak my mind, man. It's God over money, so I say what I want, dog. Straight up. But yeah, I was locked up in this FEMA camp because I didn't I didn't abide by those rules. Um, Freedom of speech, man. They're trying to take away our Second Amendment, your gun rights. They're trying to take away our freedom of speech. But I mean, it ain't they ain't coming out with it just straight up. Oh, freedom of speech gone. They're doing. It all starts, dude, with something small, and then they work their way up. Things like internet censorship, Facebook jail. Um, you can't post this, you can't post that. I mean, controlling, deleting videos, controlling what they want you to see. You know, and it's important to have our constitutional rights, to be able to have freedom of speech, to be able to have guns to protect ourselves. Throughout every massive genocide in a country, man, like in history, they always disarm the citizens first. And I'll be damned. You know, government's not a bad thing either. Now, when there's tyranny, that's a whole different thing. There's corruption even in the government. You have some people that are corrupt. You have some people that aren't. Um, yeah, I don't have a problem with government. I have a problem with tyranny. But I need to be continued on this. I need a break. Stresses me out thinking about some of this stuff. I had this other. Here's the last one I'm gonna throw out there. I had this dream. Ch- ch- there. I was watching TV, and I don't know who. It was some white guy. No, no, no. Some white guy, and he was sitting there, and he was holding up a bunch of like cords and cables, um, like thick ones, like thick cords and cables too. And he was kind of like laughing, dude, about it. And he was like mad thinking about it, but he was like he he was on TV and he's like America. He's like China. He's like China's, what is it? China's pretty much got control of China's hacked your utility grid. And we need to be aware of these things and take these things into perspective instead of just trying to blow them off like, oh, he's like I'm full of crap or something, man. Like I said, not everything has happened yet, but there's a lot of it that I do see it happen, man. It's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy, but it's mind-boggling to me sometimes. Like, you know, I owe a lot of people. Damn, get my language, Lord. I owe pretty much everybody I know an apology because I don't really put in my all to make the best to make the best role model or best person I can be for other people. I've lied to people. I mean that I care about. I mean, I've neglected people when I should have embraced spending more time with them. I've done a lot of I've done a lot of messed up stuff, man. That I regret, and I owe a lot of people an apology, man. It's a long apology. Got a lot of amends to make, and it's hard sometimes, dude. I've had dreams about power outages in my own city. I mean, a lot of dreams about stuff like that. Things that kind of have to do with stuff like that, you know. Um, and I also do my homework. So, in other words, I've seen a lot of these power outage things pop up on, TV. You see a video, see the news, you know what I mean? And I mean, it's just difficult. Anyways, to be continued. It's break time for me. The heck. Well, it's supposed to be break time for me if I could get this thing to work.